The New York Giants just flipped the script. Let's talk about it. My name's Paul. This is Big Apple Sports. Tune in here every day for all the latest Giants insight, news, analysis, whatever you want Giants football. This is the channel for you. So take just a quick second, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Got a lot more Giants content coming. The season is almost here. Just over a week until the first game where the Giants come out and shock the world against the Commanders. And I'm going to be keeping you up to date on everything Giants, enjoying this football season right alongside you. So don't miss out. Now, talking about this script that has been flipped, there has been a narrative around the Giants for years now that Evan Neal is a complete bust. And before you call me a hack and get out of here, let me say, of course, to this point in his career, he has been a bust. He obviously was an abomination at tackle. Things aren't looking very good at guard so far. There's a good chance next year he's off the Giants, and it was one of the worst Giants draft picks we've ever seen. That is all still on the table. That is all very true. But our guy Jon Runyan, who the Giants brought in to be guard on the other side, is pulling a Lee Corso here. He's saying, not so fast, my friends. And he's saying we need to be a little more patient with Evan Neal's move to guard. And I think we've seen, the guy's not going to work out at tackle. No sense beating a dead horse. Sometimes he looks like a dead horse over there at right guard or right tackle, the way people just run on by him. No sense trying that anymore. And the fact that they drafted him to anchor the tackle position and he ends up at a guard, you could argue that makes him a bust in and of itself. But what Jon Runyan is telling Giants fans to do, and I think I agree with him here, is be patient with this move to right guard. Somewhere in that body, there is a good blocker. You aren't a top 10 pick in the draft without some level of talent, without crazy upside and strength. He has ability. He has just not been able to put it together at an NFL level, or really anywhere even close to that. And I think a lot of us were hoping that when he moved to guard, that you would see him instantly be what we had hoped he would be, but at guard. And, a lot of people consider guard to be an easier position than tackle. You could definitely argue that it is. It's certainly viewed by NFL front offices as a less important position, as you see where guards get drafted and what they get paid compared to tackles. But what Jon Runyan has said is you know what? I made the switch to guard at one point in my career, and I wouldn't say I felt comfortable after my first training camp. He's saying, I don't think I even felt good at guard in my second training camp. He goes on to say each position is like a different island. Like center, you have to be able to go to both sides. Guard is just a whole different mentality than what you have as a tackle. When you're a tackle, you generally kind of go a little bit deeper or run the defensive end up the field. But with guard, you've got to square guys up. You got to dig in the ground and fight and not get pushed back into the quarterback. And, Evan Neal is a big dude. He is strong. He is huge. He should be good at that. But you have to kind of change your form. You have to kind of change your mentality. And you're changing your job. And I think to expect him from day one to instantly be a good guard is just not super realistic. But I think a lot of us put that mindset on him, that we expected that out of him. And, obviously his situation is very different than Runyan's. Runyan was picked much later in the draft and was kind of like a developmental pick, so he was drafted with the idea that he had time to develop and sit and learn how to play his position well. Whereas Neal was expected to, you're a top 10 pick. You're expected to be a starter from day one. He obviously was not anything close to that. It's day like 1200 now, and he still doesn't look like a starter. But I think with his, he had some decent moments in the preseason, had some good blocks. Like, you can still see there's something in there. And I think what John Runyon would say, and it seems like the Giants coaches would say as he just continues to make the roster, is just be patient with him. And, looking at his contract, obviously the Giants turned down his 5th-year option. Pretty easy decision. And he will be a free agent after this year. But I wonder if, while he develops as a guard, the Giants would consider bringing him in on like a 1 or 2 year deal for a couple million a year. Honestly, I could see a contract similar to, this is Greg Van Roten, who the Giants are probably going to be starting at guard this year. He's only making $2 million. But like you've seen over the years, he only made $1.6 million for the Raiders, only 1.2 for the Bills. The biggest amount of money he ever got was 3 years, $10 million. Like, I think if you can bring back Evan Neal on that kind of salary, maybe like a 2 years, $5 million, but only $2 million guaranteed. So if you cut him, or if he just isn't getting it even in his 2nd year at guard, then you can just cut ties. You don't owe him money long term, and you can move on. But I think the point is, what John Runyon's trying to say is, like, you don't just switch positions and be instantly good at that position day one. It takes time. And I think the Giants have the ability right now to let him develop. And I think that may be something that hurt him early in his career, is they didn't have that luxury. The line was not good. It was not deep. They needed him to start and be elite from day one, and he just wasn't. But now they brought in Van Roten to be the starting guard with Illuminor, and hopefully Andrew Thomas is healthy, and then obviously Runyon. But then the biggest thing to me is Marcus Bowe, and I put a video out about him earlier in the preseason. The dude looks like the steal of the draft. Like, they were lining him up at tackle, at guard. He was expected to be a guard in the NFL, but they played him at he played tackle at Purdue, and they've played him at tackle in the preseason, and no matter where he has gone, he has looked really impressive, which for a 5th-round rookie is incredible. So I think that gives more flexibility with Evan Neal. You kind of know, if somebody goes down, Marcus Bowe can step in and be solid. Marcus Bowe might be the right guard of the future. It's also a pretty deep free agency class for guard. I pulled that up real quick so you could see who's projected to be a free agent. Both of the Browns starting guards, who are really good and probably just itching to get out of there, are going to be free agents, as well as many others. So, maybe their best move is to just cut ties, move on, sign a new free agent, and shore it up. Maybe Bo's the free agent or the guard of the future. Maybe he's the tackle of the future. I think we all can agree the dude's got a future starting on this offensive line, but who knows what the position's going to be. But anyways, Giants fans, let me hear from you. Do you think I'm crazy here? Should the Giants just give up on Neal, cut their losses, or do you think it's worth being a little patient with him and seeing if maybe he can develop into at least a rotational guard or somebody you feel confident in as a backup? Let me know, and then just subscribe and like on the way out, and I'll catch you with some more Giants content shortly.